Yo, welcome back to Just Dead Seasoning. So today we are looking at the Air Max 95 Kim Jones collab. This collaboration dropped in two colorways, Total Orange, which dropped worldwide, and Volt, which dropped only in the UK. Kim Jones, for those of you who don't know him, is a fashion designer, one of the best in the business. He's been with Dunhill and Louis Vuitton in the past. He's currently artistic director for Dior menswear and Fendi womenswear. So he's got a lot of experience in the game, and a notable collab of his is the Air Dior, of course, the Jordan 1 Dior collaboration that we saw just last year, selling quite expensively, but using very, very premium materials and production techniques, using Italian leathers and fine stitching, the works. This time around though, this sneaker is £190, $220. That tells me that I'm guessing the House of Dior had absolutely nothing to do with the production of these. I'm guessing it's all Nike using standard Nike parts, but Kim Jones just had a bit of input into the artistic direction. Kim Jones will simply have had input on the little design flourishes, the little nuances that make this MX95 different to a standard 95. I think the elephant in the room right now is that this sneaker didn't sell out on sneakers. In the Volt colorway, it didn't sell out in the Total Orange colorway. I was surprised a little bit that the Volt colorway didn't sell out, being it was a UK exclusive, but it is what it is. I think the reason this didn't sell out, in fact I don't think, I almost know the reason this didn't sell out, is because of that £190 price tag. It's low enough that people know that this isn't using premium materials compared to a standard 95, but it's high enough that it's another £40 on top of a standard £150 MX95, and I think that's just too much to stretch, just because Kim Jones has had input into some subtle design differences. So for this collab, for £190, you do at least get a special box. I do like a good unboxing experience, so that's one sort of thumbs up, although no amount of box can make me pay more than I need to pay on a sneaker, so whether I keep hold of this one or not, I'll reveal at the end of the video. So on this special box, it's a matte black all over. You got a gloss Nike logo on the top, and on the sides, on the front and the back side, you got the standard Kim Jones wording. This font was used for Kim Jones' other collabs with Nike in the past, which, to be honest, probably put the writing on the wall for this collab, because they never did well on the resale market in terms of never really selling much more than retail price itself. Standard Air Max 95s usually get a standard orange, Nike sports shoes box. Open up lid, bang, there's your shoes. With these, we've got a catch on the front and a little ring pull to pull out a drawer. Now the drawer, if you want to try and get the shoes out when the drawer's at its full extension, because there's this little cardboard stoppers in the bottom of it, you can't quite get them out without having to sort of wrinkle the paper up and try and wrestle the shoes out of the box. So what I found easiest to do is literally to try and get the drawer away from the rest of the box, so I'm going to try that now. Okay, that wasn't too hard. I'm going to move the top of the box out of the way so we can see the paper. So we've got Kim Jones branded wax paper on the top, and then underneath the Kim Jones branded wax paper, we've got extra tissue paper underneath. This for me adds just that slight extra air of luxury to the shoe, because anybody that's bought any sort of real luxury goods in the past, one thing you'll usually find is a ton of wrapping paper, of tissue paper in the box or in the bag or whatever it might be. So that is one little element that Kim Jones takes from the world of Dior, Louis Vuitton, Fendi, etc. So let's take out the first shoe. That is the left shoe. Peel back the last bit of paper, and there is the right shoe. So here we have the quite beautiful Air Max 95s. There's no extra laces with these. Massive thumbs down for me for that, because if you're charging £190 for a pair of Nikes, I expect at least a spare pair of laces just to switch up the look. But maybe Kim Jones thought, you know what, I intend these to be worn with black rope laces, so I'm going to provide black rope laces, and that's what people are getting. There's also no hang tags on these, no extra little trinkets like we saw with the Air Dior's. Of course, the one thing to say is that if these did have the Dior name on the side rather than Mr. Kim Jones, I think these would be a hell of a lot more expensive than they are. So moving on to the actual design of the shoes, if you know what a standard Air Max 95 looks like, you'll probably see that there isn't too much of a difference between this and a standard Air Max 95. And sometimes the sign of a really good designer is taking an OG, a classic, and only making small tweaks to it, because going too big, too brash, too bold can overdo it. And okay, sure, it may do well on the resale market because it's exciting to look at or whatever, but in terms of actual stylish footwear to wear, I think he's done a good job of harking back to the first ever Air Max 95 with the Volt here. I think Kim Jones has done a good job with the materials used, with the colour palette used, with the way the shoes put together. One thing I would say about these is they do look a lot better in person than they look on the sneakers app. So in terms of design cues, you've got the mini swoosh on both of the toe caps here and here on the sort of outside of your foot. That's not the first time we've seen a mini swoosh on the toe cap of an Air Max 95. We've seen that, for example, with the Air Max 95 Evolution of Icons. I'm pretty sure that the leather on the side is genuine leather. It feels like probably a nubuck leather. And one thing that you can't tell when you're looking at images online, but you can tell definitely in hand, is that these, they've often been referred to as sort of Morse code dots and dashes, but these aren't markings on the shoe, like raised bumps or just dashes of black sort of paint. These are actually slits in the leather. Now, whether the slits serve any sort of purpose in terms of performance, I don't know. But I think they do just add something. Like I said, the art of being a fantastic designer sometimes is just making the smallest little changes to a shoe. You've got 3M material just down here, so 3M is like safety jacket material, super reflective. You got 3M at the front as well. The sock liner on these is actually feels really good. It's a really soft, fluffy sock liner, which I imagine will be incredibly comfortable. The Volt carries on down the shoe into the air bubbles, and there's some Volt on the sole as well, which we'll look at next. So the sole of the shoe, unfortunately for me, is the best part of the shoe, and it's the part of the shoe that you'll see the least. You've got the Nike wording, then you've got a Nike swoosh, which is so zoomed in that you can't actually see the what would that even be called? The curly bit of the swoosh. You got the KJ for Kim Jones within the swoosh itself, and then along the bottom, this is where I said that extra bit of Volt is. We've got PSI measurements for the I assume they're for the airbags. PSI is pounds per square inch, and I assume that these measurements refer to just how pressurized each of these airbags are, so that it supports your foot just perfectly. I am a sucker for an icy sole, and I do think that the icy blue sole works really well with the green, the Volt. And to be honest, although a lot of people have said they preferred the orange version, the total orange version of this collaboration, I definitely prefer the Volt. I think the Volt and the blue, and even with the 3M material and the grey, I think it all just works really well. The Air Max badge, which is embroidered, is also in that Volt colorway, and it's against I guess this is like a synthetic polyester or something tongue. Along the side of the shoe, we've got this mesh material. I think Nike referred to this as Nexican material. Now for resale, unfortunately, these didn't, as I said at the start of the video, they didn't sell out. Not even close to it. So if you're looking at these for the resale market, absolutely look somewhere else. Do not look at these. If you're looking at these as a bit of a almost like a collector's item, as Kim Jones continues his rise through the world of fashion, maybe you could keep a hold of them dead stock. I think the problem with these is that knowing that these didn't sell out, it doesn't mean there's going to be less in the market. It just means that these will eventually, I imagine, end up in discounted Nike outlet stores. And I would absolutely love to pick these up at a discounted price, but just at £190, I can't hold on to them. If there's no resale in it, I've had a look at them. I've enjoyed having them. I've enjoyed the unboxing experience. If you are going to try and get hold of a colorway, I would definitely suggest you get the Volt because of that UK exclusivity. No matter where you are in the world, if you can get a pair that were only launched in the UK, that seems like a better bet to me. I think they'll hold their prices better. And maybe, who knows, in the future, maybe they'll become a collector's item. But for me, unfortunately, this masterpiece of design, this very subtle change in the Air Max 95, is going to be sold either at or around retail on StockX if I can manage that. If not, they'll be returned to Nike, and I'll be keeping my eyes peeled, looking for a pair when they inevitably get reduced in Nike outlet stores, unfortunately. So, thank you very much for watching. Take care.